All right, Hyce. Today we're going to prove that tractive effort actually works no matter what. So we've got the longest train we've ever assembled. We're going to go supply the oil well.
I actually got to go run the train so people see how long it is on my end.
Oh yeah, that's
it's
right.
So long that
it's 22
I can't
cars,
even see
Hyce.
the bunk. I can't even see the bunk cars. Is it 20 cars? We're gonna need.
No, so it's hold on. It's 12 plank, 12 stake flats, 8 logging cars, 2 box cars, and a caboose. So 23
so
cars.
It's 23 cars. Yeah.
And then we're gonna pull it all with Betsy because Betsy pulls like what 900,000 pounds on flat ground.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Right. And so what we're going to do is we're going to deliver to the oil well. First, we have to go pick up beams from the sawmill, and then we've got to get the Toolworks stuff from the Toolworks. We got to get tools and pipes, and then we can bring it all to the oil well. And theoretically, because it's all 0%, Betsy should just pull it all the whole time.
Hey, Con, did you use all the wood in the way car? There's no more wood, and there's no wood in here.
Well, go. There's some wood. Just grab yourself some. Does it matter?
I mean, I guess it doesn't. I mean, there's just no wood in the car.
I filled up Betsy with wood.
I'll run back down to the depot here and grab my 5 logs and then run back down the tracks to my caboose. Right. It's a little cold out, okay?
So, like, here's the thing with tractive effort, right? On 0% grade, we will pull more than the weight of this train by a lot. But yet, Betsy's still going to struggle to get going.
Yes, for sure.
So I don't understand how that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like,
well, so when you get started with a steam engine, it takes a while to get up to speed to the point where you're able to assume continuous power, right? Like, so in engineering, we make assumptions about things. We always do it to make the problem easier, and then we apply a safety factor.
Well, okay, so I guess here's what I'm trying to say. Like, with a modern diesel, it's an electric motor. If you provide a voltage to that motor, it creates a lot of torque, right? Yes. But the torque of a steam engine, like, wouldn't nearly be as much until it gets moving, right? Like, into the cycles, or is it...
Right, so remember, you get the most power from a steam locomotive when you've got boiler pressure hitting the piston.
Right.
And you have boiler pressure hitting the piston for about 85% of the power stroke if you're going slow enough and you've got the Johnson bar all the way in the corner, all the way forwards, or all the way in reverse, whatever. But you're not getting the maximum output of both of the cylinders at the same time. Because when the left side is at front dead center, all the way forward, the right side is midway through its power band. So when you're going slow, like really slow, like chuff, 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 or even slower, you're only getting really the full power output of one cylinder and then maybe some of the other one. And then when you get up to a little bit faster pace, puff, chuff, 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 you're getting enough power strokes going that extra 15% of cutoff is not really affecting you that much anymore, and you're effectively getting both of the pistons doing the work the whole time, and the weight's carrying you through it.
Like, when it's trying to pull a really heavy load off the start, do they have to rock it, like, a fair amount back and forth? Or is it just,
it depends. If you're on a grade and the whole train's in tension against you, and you're starting on one side, absolutely. If
you'll
one
rock
side's
it. Like, you'll back it up and then go forward and give it a little bit of a jerk to get...
Absolutely. And you have to get going fast enough to get past that front dead center spot again. I have seen it many a time when we're starting at the museum, where we're starting in a sharp curve on a steep grade with a lot of train. It's in tension. Somebody rolls back, they catch it, stop the train from rolling back further, because that's always a fun game to play when you're doing that. And they pull it open, and then they don't give it enough steam because they're worried about slipping, and then they get right back to where they were and they get stuck again. So you do sometimes end up back and forth again, but once you really get the feel for it and the rhythm of it down, I mean, you roll back once, you pull the throttle, you take off, and you're fine.
And how does so a modern diesel? How does it deal with that? Because a modern diesel, you just give it power, and it's got anti-slip and all sorts of nonsense, like your car has traction control. And so what if a diesel, it's too much train for the diesel to pull? It's too much weight. Will it just stall out?
It'll pull against it, and it'll pull against it, and it'll pull against it, and it won't move.
But the wheels won't slip. Like the motor will sense that the wheel's going to slip and it'll stop
it. There is on early locomotives, and most of them got this modified in depending on how early of an EMD locomotive it is. We're talking like SD40s and GP38s and things from the 1960s. Probably didn't get built with it right away. But as they went along, most locomotives got wheel slip relays, and now the modern ones have wheel slip controls in the computer where it can sense a wheel slip condition based on the power consumption of the motor compared to speeds and speed sensors across multiple axles and things like that. And it'll automatically trigger sand without the engineer doing anything. And as well, it'll also derate the power without changing the throttle notch. So the throttle is still commanding. Say you're in notch 4. The throttle's still telling either the governor or the computer system that's controlling all of the fuel injection and everything, hey, we need notch 4 amount of power, get the engine up to that speed, and then the alternator will electronically limit it and say, no, we can't give notch 4 right now, we're slipping, keep the engine running at that speed.
Like the diesel engine will still be revving at the same revs, but then the alternator sends less electricity to the motor, or is it
correct? Yes.
So the diesel never revs down?
The diesel doesn't rev down. The alternator will end up via something called a load regulator on the earlier EMDs, which is kind of the electrical equivalent of the governor, where you basically have that
HVAC
balance.
fans are controlled as with a load regulator generally. I don't want to get butchered. I used to work in HVAC a little bit back in the day, and I don't want to get too butchered, but some of them big motors use load regulators to control motor speed.
Right.
And then you've got VFDs
same thing with
and variable
the
frequency drives
yeah.
and blah, 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 and all that nonsense. But
pretty much the same thing with the early EMD locomotives, and that was for mechanically fuel injected engines, where you're trying to have the mechanical system talk to the electrical system, so you have an electronic controller.
Like, what was it? Just a big overhead cam or something?
So you have kind of these 4 pieces that talk to each other. You have the electronic controller in the throttle and reverser that set switchgear and contactors that send 4 different valves that give your logic input to the governor. And the governor is just a mechanical governor that has 4 different throttle valves, and the combination of those throttle valves picks the engine speed and speeds up the engine. The alternator knows how much electricity it's supposed to be putting out at certain RPMs and will reduce the supply based on what the engine's doing if the engine can't meet up to that for whatever reason, or the alternator can't because they're trying to limit it with wheel slip with the load regulator, which is basically just a big rheostat, fancy word for a vane relay type deal. Basically a big potentiometer, but it's being controlled automatically. And for the fuel injection, you've got overhead cams basically that run on top of the heads of the cylinders that run all the way down and control the injectors, called from the mechanical rack, they call it. When you adjust everything and you set the lash of the injectors, it's called setting the rack. And it's usually done on diesels based on how much smoke they're putting out. We would opacity test the diesel locomotives to see how much smoke they're putting out. And if they put out more smoke than they're supposed to, we'd go through and time the engine and set the rack. And if they were within a certain tolerance on the smoke test, we wouldn't do it because you knew that you didn't need to, because guess what? You could tell the engine was running great.
Man, it would be a cool thing to work on big diesels. They would. I'm also kind of like, I worked in automotive for a long time, so big engines, they're cool.
Yeah, big engines are fun. So it's beams, right?
Yeah, it's beams.
You're working on
the stopping power of Betsy is going to be a problem.
I mean, you're one man with a lever.
Dude,
versus 23 cars.
We have like 4 of the tiniest brakes.
You are spotted for 2 cars.
No, I'll back up.
Just...
I'll back up.
Okay. Yep. All right. Well, take it easy.
But we got lots of beams. It's fine.
The EMD engines, Con, they are named 567, 645, and 710.
Right.
And those numbers stand for the number of cubic inches per cylinder.
Oh, per cylinder. No big deal.
They're usually V16s.
Oh yeah. So just 2 of those cylinders is my whole 1.4 liter car.
No. 567 cubic inches is like 8 liters, Con.
Oh, cubic inches. Sorry, I thought for some reason I was thinking CC for some reason, cubic centimeters.
No, not CCs, cubic inches.
Yeah, no, okay, so it's like 1. Yeah, so that's fine. Yeah, no, that's a lot.
I have a 6.
Man, what's the fuel burn rate on something like that? Like how fast do they burn gas under load, like diesel under load?
I mean, I don't know the stat per notch, but they usually use, while running, an average of 2 gallons per mile.
That's insane.
so a half mile to the gallon. But
Yeah,
you
that's
got to
a
remember,
lot.
you're using that to move tons and tons and tons, like literal
Well, sure.
hundreds of
Yeah,
tons
no,
of
sure.
freight,
It's just,
so.
yeah. I mean, it would take you more diesel if you were doing it by truck. I get that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not about miles per gallon. It's about payload miles per gallon.
Yeah, it's
which-
about, that's why trains running
different
empty
thing.
sucks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to do the logistics of it, too. I did have a nice commenter who explained the setup at the ironworks for me. The reason it stopped at 96.96 was not based on our inputs. The tools and pipes at the sawmill, or not the sawmill, at the ironworks apparently actually build in sets of 16.
Oh,
And so if there's not room for another 16 products,
it doesn't partial
make
build
them.
it.
Yeah, so you might
Well,
need
that's
to
useful.
take it ahead just a smidge more, but it might work.
Yeah, I had a commenter who actually gave me a super thanks and said we should get engine number 13 and name it the Heisler, and because it's going to be a mountain pass engine and you're going to just bin it. So
Well, I would gladly christen that engine by flinging it off to 10% in the most
right,
heist way possible. So.
that's what they were saying as well. Now the only thing is, I don't know if people have been reading the community news for Railroads Online. There's supposedly a new update coming.
Theoretically, the
Theoretically.
day that this posts, you can take it ahead as well, Con.
Yeah, we don't know. It's all in the community hub. You guys can go check it out on the Steam page. But they've got a new update coming, supposedly with coal-fired engines. So
Yeah,
we might want to
theoretically, the day
save
that
some
this
money
posts,
for that.
Yeah, it'll be a thing, assuming everything goes to schedule, and it seems like they've been on schedule for what they've been.
Yeah, I don't know.
planning
I
so
just
far,
saw the
but-
community post like yesterday, honestly. So I was like, well, that's exciting.
Yeah, so a couple new engines apparently, and some stuff, and coal firing, which I guess you have to put down kind of coal transfer depots, and you got to bring coal to them from the coal
Yeah,
mine
good
in
thing
order
we got
to use
that
the
switchback
engines.
for
and
coal. That's super effective.
we're set up for that. It's gonna be great.
Our coal mine is empty right now on product.
Oh, actually, yeah, that is unfortunate.
We took all
You
the
wanna
coal.
you wanna back that train up a little bit there, Con?
Yeah, I was on full brake the whole time, by the way. Just gonna
Well,
point
I mean,
that
I
out.
believe you, but we definitely loaded space and then loaded. So I'm interested to see what all that turns out to be, because they did say that none of the existing engines in game will be coal burners yet, which is a little bit of
they
a
said there's
bummer
going
on
to be
my
dedicated
end. But
wood and dedicated coal engines, and the
Yeah.
theory is that the coal is going to
it's gonna last longer.
last longer. But like, I
Which
wonder if they're
doesn't
going to
really
change the
get you
burn rate of
anything.
wood, because right now the wood lasts
You
forever.
gotta back it up another like 10 foot. It's trying to load the same car. We've loaded like 5 beams on this one car. Okay, that's good.
But yeah, that's what
Um,
I'm wondering. I wonder if they're going to make the wood burners burn faster, because if you're adding a longer
I
lasting
honestly
fuel,
hope they do. Okay, now take it ahead too, Con. I honestly hope they do, because I mean, wood. I mean, the whole point of like a wood burning engine, like anyone who's fired one will tell you that you're just pitching wood. Even if you're not working it stupid hard, it's like you've got to fill that box up, and they've got really deep fireboxes because of how much wood they take and how fast it burns. So if they keep the current wood burning rate and just make coal burn longer, it's like you put one scoop in and then you wait until next week, I guess, to put the next one in. Can you bring
Right,
it
yeah.
back about a quarter car
back or forward,
backwards, please. Yeah,
it's a very
little
hard
bump.
train to stop.
it really is. Someday maybe we'll have air brakes, perhaps. That'd be nice. That'll be good. But I mean, new engines. It's always fun to see the new eye candy, and some of the engines look pretty, and they've definitely teased a lot of cool engines. I do hope that someday that the historically only coal burning engines that are in the game, of which there are many, do be set up to be only burning coal rather than wood,
I think-
or dual usage or something.
Yeah, I
but-
feel like dual usage would be cool. I feel like it would be cool to be able to go from a wood infrastructure to a coal infrastructure.
Yeah, from a gameplay standpoint, like I can understand that, because if you're trying to make the progression and make it that you have to set up this network to make it so that you can use this other thing, it's like, okay, I could see that. And then giving players the option to use the wrong fuel.
But I mean, to be
despite
fair,
history, whatever.
is
I
that
mean,
it?
it's
Is that
fine.
all the cars?
That's loaded. Let's highball.
This
We
is
occupy half of this loop. Like
this is
your caboose is
highballing,
parallel
by
with
the
you
way.
right now.
I'm letting you know right now. Like this is.
Turn on the bell. I don't
right,
hear your bell from here.
Yeah, get that extra bell power.
Gotta get the bell power, man.
I'm terrified every time I cross this double crossover part of the track that's in a row.
It's spooky. Double diamond, man.
You always feel like you're gonna just like bin it really hard. One of these days, I don't want to do it today because this train is too much, but one of these days we should actually see what happens if a train smokes another train at that crossover at full speed.
You know, I love the sound of that because I'm me. But at the same time, I don't honestly think I've actually seen that since we first added the diamond. That was the first.
Yeah, I don't know what it would do. I feel like the hitboxes of the trains are kind of like flat cars, so I don't know if they would really explode off each other in.
I don't know what they would do. That's
I don't
a good
either.
point.
Wow, there's the caboose way over there. Oh, you've got the fire in it. That's nice.
Yeah. Or I had to go pick up the wood.
Way back.
I will
there.
say that you should stop putting wood.
The black log. Oh. I got it at notch 8, man. Like you gotta, if you don't like it, like we're gonna.
Well, I guess I'll go somewhere else.
We're going as fast as we go, man. This is the notch 8 experience.
Do I have to? No, I don't have to get a switch. We're fine. Okay, cool.
Hold on, let me hit the NOS button. Just let me just. There we go. Got the NOS.
There you go.
The NOS going.
Dude, it's Dominic Toretto. You can have anything you want so long as it's a quarter mile. I mean, a Corona.
This is how we clean off the sides of the track.
A quarter Corona at a time.
That steam coming off the cylinder cocks. Like if you were driving by people and that hit them, would it burn them?
Okay,
is it hot enough to burn?
So the steam. I mean, it's hot, but when it gets like even just a couple feet away from the locomotive, it's so rapidly condensing back or whatever when it hit, like it's pressurized and everything. Boom. I mean, it gets cold like by the time it's like 5 or 6 feet away from the cylinder cock. But the thing that the game doesn't quite accurately show is it is violently and loud and like it hurts your ears from 200 feet away if you're running the engine with any amount
in the first place.
Yeah, like we would come into the station with the cylinder cocks open during Polar Express to like have the mythical magical steam effect going everywhere and stuff. Because it made a really cool effect, but we'd shut it when we'd get to the passengers. A, because it's super, super loud, but B, I mean, some of the engines tend to shoot up a little bit. So 20 would be like aiming at people's faces, and you don't want to blow steam in people's faces. Because you're also not just blowing steam. If you have the cylinder cocks open, you're blowing your lubrication out. Because where is it easiest for the oil to go? Out the open hole that the steam is forcing things out.
So you're blasting people with nice hot oil. That's good.
Right. So not a good thing to do. So you don't want to have the cylinder cocks open like right next to people.
There's a business strategy here, right? If you blind enough people, then they won't know that you don't have any new exhibits, and they'll keep coming back just to hear the trains.
That's not how that works.
You throw a new bell on it, a new whistle. They'll think it's a whole new train. They can't really see it because they've got blinding hot oil in their eyes.
That's not how that works.
That's like, dude, this is a business strategy. Why haven't you suggested this to your bosses yet at the museum?
I mean, reasons. It's fine.
Thank God I don't run a museum, right? Like,
it'd be an interesting museum, that's for sure.
Yeah. I love the boxcar look. I really like this red, white striped top.
The red, white stripe. I don't know what the prototype is on this, but it is cool.
It's
I
nice
really
with
do
the
enjoy
big
it.
crap written on the side, too. It's just...
Well, you gotta love a big crap. I mean, you really do. Yeah.
It's really nice. And then they've got the really, really tall handbrake bars.
Yeah, the brake staff is really tall, which, I mean, this is like boxcars. I mean, this is what railroaders would be running on top of back in the day, because it's not... They didn't have their modern day usage yet. The handbrake for a long time was originally the only brakes you had.
Is that what those planks, the 3 planks in the middle of each car for?
Exactly.
Is the running platform?
That is the roof walk. That is your running platform. It's tied into the structure of the car, not just the roof work of the car, because a lot of times the roof of the car could be tar paper, it could be tin, it could be something thin. It's not necessarily
So they would sprint along that, like...
Going brake to brake down these 3 boards. Yeah.
And, like, if you fell off, like, sorry, Timmy, that's it. Like, have a nice life kind of deal.
Have a nice, slowly sit there and die. I mean, like, yeah, basically.
What about when there were tunnels? Just, like, duck, Like,
Dude, not even kidding.
Lay flat?
In the entrance, at the entrance of a tunnel portal, and they still exist at the Cumbres and Toltec, where we have the only 2 tunnels on the narrow gauge.
From a guy, like just
an
outline of his...
They have a gantry about 500 feet before the tunnel that has a bunch of ropes dangling from it that has knots tied in in them at the height of the tunnel, so that if you were walking back to get the next break, not looking ahead, and you got hit in the back with a heavy piece of rope, you would know it was time to hit the deck because you're going to go in the tunnel. And so you'd be lying down on top of the car.
Like, a piece of rope hits you then, you get knocked out.
Well, I mean,
I guess you'll be fine.
You'll make it through the tunnel. We died like men back in the 1800s, okay, Con?
Dude, that's
see me
insane.
jumping off right now.
Don't get me wrong, that sounds insanely fun, like to ride on top of a boxcar, but it also sounds extremely dangerous.
It sounds terrifying, okay?
And I would never agree to do that without proper equipment.
I gotta get your switch, so I'm running ahead of you.
Yeah. That's funny.
But, I mean, so right after we got air brakes, it was still, you know how slow
did men on
the
railroad
shift, right?
Did they get paid like well? Was it like a well-paying by 1800 standards? Or
Railroading has almost always been considered actually a pretty good paying job. It's only quite recently that it really hasn't seemed to keep up. I mean, a career on the railroad was kind of well renowned throughout the ages, as the company would take care of you, and the retirement is unbeatable, and the railroad retirement is actually still pretty incredible by a lot of American standards these days.
Right.
But the pay doesn't necessarily keep up. The pay is quite good for something that doesn't require a college degree and etc. if you go out on the road. But if you go out on the road, your schedule is just absolutely awful. Yeah, I mean, you don't know if you're working in 10 hours or 3 days. And you have to be ready at a 2 hours notice, so don't have a beer. You know, that kind of stuff. So, I mean, it used to be really good wages, and people who talk about it back in the day talk about the railroad being a good earning thing, and, oh, he was a railroad man and was able to provide for the family and all that stuff. So, definitely a decent career.
He was a railroad man. He only had one hand because he was a brake man.
I mean, that's not...
Let's talk about his legs. Dude, the song writes itself. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, so
you're the one with the musical talent. You should really just turn that into an actual proper, you know.
I'll work on that.
Write some lyrics about you know Stan the brake man who only had one hand because he was a railroad man.
It writes itself.
And
as I was saying earlier, man, you know how slow like safety culture and cultural shifts can happen.
Oh yeah, no, I get it.
As you've seen, I'm sure, in industry, right? So, like, boxcars having these super tall handbrakes like this, right? Handbrakes being the only form of braking originally. You get air brakes, and there's plenty of old heads who are like, I'm not sure about that Westinghouse company.
I'm not sure about them air brakes. I'm
not sure about them air brakes.
Boxcars safer.
So they kept it around and kept that design around for eons because that was the backup. What happens if you lose air? I can still run across the top of the train, and I can tie it down that way.
That's so funny.
And a lot of guys, like, that was the thing. And, I mean, obviously these days, we don't have handbrakes mounted up there. We have some that are kind of in frustrating places for guys to get to, just by the geometry of some cars. Like, that's kind of where they have to be. Because they have to be outside of the dynamic envelope, and you don't want people, like, trespassers and people coming up and easily being able to throw them. But the train crew's got to be able to get to it easy and stuff, and all this different stuff. So, handbrake
I'd like
positions
to point out
are
we're
not
at 100% reg, and this is how fast we can move.
You've still been at 100%?
Oh yeah, this has been 100% the whole time. This isn't me holding off.
Yeah.
So this is rolling resistance, basically, is what's happening.
Yeah, the rolling resistance is keeping you running slow.
I don't know. Like, Betsy theoretically pulls 900,000 pounds, but is that 900,000 pounds on one car of rolling resistance? Like, maybe is that the issue?
No, so the 900,000 pounds, I mean, the way that the math works out, that is incorporating the rolling resistance. Yeah.
But what if you have, because rolling resistance will then perfectly scale with the weight of the car, because if you have like 10 coal cars versus 10 beams, the beams are lighter.
Right. So, I mean, it factors into, the calculation is done with that in mind. You can pull that much weight regardless of how many cars it ends up being, or how many bearings it ends up being, because you can linearly multiply it, because it's the same rolling resistance across the whole train. Right, which is the assumption that we've made. Of course,
the assumption being that the rolling
case,
resistance is linear tied to the friction based on the weight of the cars rather than the number of wheels.
Which it mostly is. If you want to get really into the science of it and make it extremely accurate, Obviously, it changes with temperature, outside temperature, bearing temperature, the type of oil you use, how much
Right,
oil
but like
there
theoretically,
is, but
so theoretically, the argument behind the science is that even though you have more bearings with more cars, they have less weight per bearing, so there's less friction per bearing, which then net works out to
Exactly.
be roughly the same nonsense.
yeah, precisely. No matter what, it ends up being about this, and really. The point of it for the railroads was not to, okay, we're gonna toe the line, we're gonna have this perfect safety factor to get up this hill. Stuff happens on the railroad. You don't have a good fireman, you don't have good coal, you have bad water, you have all these different weird things that can affect what
What's
happens.
bad water? Like hard water with lots of dissolved crap in it?
Super hard water that plugs up things, that foams, makes it so that the locomotive's not operating efficiently. Good God, one of the worst conditions that you can deal with on a steam engine is foaming. And I'm not talking about people with cameras trackside. I'm talking about the surface water level in the boiler literally generating foam so that you're not getting an accurate reading in your water level sight glass because the water level is inflated
Well, you gotta
because you've got this foamy
right.
surface. Yeah, I got to get your switch. And when you open the throttle, you're getting all this foam carried over into the engine early. And so you get all these bizarre symptoms of the engine misbehaving, and you really have to reduce power and do all this stuff to mitigate it and blow it down, and you have to really reduce your steaming efficiency and operating efficiency to try and keep the train going. And it's awful. So, like, all that sort of stuff can happen. So the railroad wasn't about to toe the line with, this is as exactly as much as these cars or engines can pull, and how many cars they can do.
One crane for
up the hill.
tools, bruh.
Yeah, the one crane for the worst thing in the world. We get to load these.
What? I
Twice,
forgot. I thought
bud.
there were 2 cranes. Oh,
Nope. Look
my
at you
God.
and your optimism there,
Oh
friendo.
no, dude, we're not stopping for this. All right, don't load yet. Okay.
You might be able to get the second one.
No,
maybe?
let me just moonwalk. Let me just moonwalk
It's
a bit
fine.
more here.
It's fine.
Yeah, we're
it's
good.
fine. Still fine. Just
20
you
cars
wanna-
or 30 notch 8. There were school children. It was.
There were school children.
they're
You're
com-
talking about a missile
Yeah.
the size of the Chrysler building. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That'll do.
No, I'm gonna go back
That'll
to
do.
the
Like
first
just,
one. I don't
well,
trust.
I mean, I don't care which one you pick, but like, be on the brakes. But
Well, I'm on the brakes now. Don't worry. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're
Sport
good.
Porter is just like, what are you doing to me?
I feel like this porter would have broken down a while ago, but we're good. We're here.
Not the happiest thing in the world, I'm sure.
It's a wonderful.
All
little
right, it
engine.
begins. Shall we? Do we time this? What do we do? Like,
I think we just do one of those through the power of editing moments, and then
oh, that's a good idea. We'll
then-
see you right back, folks.
because you know I don't want to sit here, so you know.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
We'll see you when these cars are loaded. Bye, friends.
Oh no, we are out of the firewood. We are going to le freeze to death in our le caboose.
Oh.
That's my
Is
glorious
the-
French accent. What do you think? How do you
Oh, we are out of the firewood.
It's a firewood. We need to get some more wood. Oh, let's go to the front of the train. Let's go chop down this tree. Can I just chop this tree or did this?
You know.
Oh,
wait,
hold on. Here it
Colin,
comes. All right,
Dude.
get the wood. Get the wood. Get the wood.
I wish that worked.
Get the wood.
Dude.
Yeah,
the
what's
train's
up?
loaded.
Oh, good. The train's loaded. Let's go back to
The
the front.
train. It has legitimately been like 45 or 50 minutes
Has it
outside of
really?
game. Outside
Time
of
flies,
recording.
Heist. Time flies when we're having fun together. You know that is
Dude, so much fun.
so much fun.
We caught some
Um,
Z's in the caboose. Wake
The
car,
greatest thing
great.
is like our train is pretty much as long as the distance we have to go.
Yeah, that is.
Like you want
I'll
to
be
go
in
get
the
that
caboose.
switch up there? It's
Oh,
literally.
I guess I gotta get the switch.
It's literally
Okay.
like hold on. Let's just give you a demonstration here, really quick.
Yeah. Pull it wide open.
We're
and,
gonna put
and
it in
we'll
notch
see what it
8.
does.
You ready? This is
Notch
full
8. Go.
notch
Go,
8.
Betsy.
Okay, I'll turn the bell on for extra horsepower, just to. All right, that's it.
There it is.
There it goes.
Yeah. This is the most ridiculous train. It's pretty great.
It's working
I
though.
gotta say.
I'm gonna save just in case we crash the game right when this is. You know what I mean? Like that.
We don't want to be reloading.
We don't want to. I really don't want to reload it. There we go. Look at this poor Link, man. This poor Link This first link.
Haul in the whole weight.
Oh
yeah.
no, not even that. Just wait. I'll let you inspect it when we get back. You'll
Oh,
see.
it's at a ridiculous
It's at like a
angle because the
90-degree
Betsy's-
angle
yeah,
almost. Like
Betsy's pocket's super low. You'd need a bent link to make that transition really, but yeah,
you can get bent links.
that was a thing. Yeah, like
Wouldn't they want to like
compensated
naturally,
link.
even if you have it like bent like a double 90, wouldn't it still want to try and like go diagonally between the two
Oh, I'm
points?
sure it would still try and shear and do all sorts of stupid stuff, but that is
Right.
what they did back in the day.
That's
yeah,
unfortunate.
so this is 23 cars, 2
Yep.
cars of tools, 12 cars of beams,
Yep.
8 cars of pipes, and the weigh car.
Yep.
And that totals out at 630,560 pounds.
Yeah, I could pull this too. Just hook a rope up to it, no problem.
Yeah, pretty much.
I could like that's like, you know, I cap out at like 700, you know, that's
Well, okay, you and Betsy, I mean, you got a better power to weight ratio than Betsy because Betsy weighs 8 tons.
well, you know,
I'm
it's
pretty
it's
sure you
because
don't weigh more
I
than
got some
7.
good, I got some thick thighs, you know, it's all in the thighs. Right, that's the
Yeah, buns and ties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I yeah.
Betsy's good for 701,500 on level track.
Okay.
So we have a
And we're
confidence
what,
window of
six,
like
six something you said? 630?
630. So we got
Okay.
like 70,000 more pounds that we could be pulling, which
Yeah,
is like
that's fine.
you know another.
But that's
another
flat
3
straight
cars
track.
of
This
tools
has some
and stuff.
turns, so
Yeah, we're definitely not going anywhere fast, and you've got it wide open. So.
we're not even going to get up to speed before we pull in here. Like literally, the back of our train is just leaving the ironworks now, and like we're pulling into,
Oh my god.
you know, look at the black smoke on this thing too. It's pretty.
Yeah, you've been firing it a little heavy, Con.
Yeah,
I mean, you
well-
took all the firewood out of the caboose, so we don't have any firewood in the caboose. Just threw it in.
Dude, I can't believe. I feel like in real life, Betsy would not pull this. I feel like, you know.
Well, I mean, that's the fun fact of flat track and just dealing with rolling resistance. The one thing that we don't really take into account with these maths and calculations and stuff is the starting tractive effort
it's different from the
is
roading-
different than the
running.
running tractive effort, and as well,
Starting
the
one is
same thing
lower
applies.
because static friction is higher, so everything's got a.
Well, actually, starting tractive effort ends up being a little bit faster or a little bit higher than continuous tractive effort for a steam engine.
But your starting friction of all your cars is higher, isn't it? Because they have to move
precisely
to get
right
going.
because you have static friction between your journal and then your brass on top of the journal, and then as soon as you get moving, you have kinetic friction and it's oiled. So it's a really nice kinetic friction. So you do have that. So that's not simulated in the math that we do. So like you could be stalled and not get it going, and then the math says that you could pull it. So
Right.
But I don't think the actual game engine in Railroads Online is doing all that stuff either.
So if we just pushed it though initially, then it would be fine.
Yeah, if you got it started, if you had somebody else there to help you start and get out the yard, it would work. And I mean, that is actually a thing that did happen. The railroads did have trains that were assisted by the yard switcher pushing the train out the yard to get going sometimes.
All right.
You know, you'd have a big...
$2,363. Are you in my company, sir? Because we're not going to
let
stop
me-
for this.
Yeah, let me do that.
Well, actually,
All
we're
right.
going to stop for the tools because they're going to probably take a
No, that's true.
long
Yeah.
time to unload. But then everything else, we're just going to kind of slow roll it.
I am in your company. We can hold 100 tools, and so we only have 64, so we're fine. But yeah, as I was saying,
Oh wait,
you'd have
crap.
a big train with
I didn't
a
think
with
of
a.
the capacity.
No, we're fine. We're fine. We have a big train that would have like a malley or an articulated on the head end, and then something like a little yard switcher, like the Class 48 shoving to help it get out the yard, and then they'd cut it
And then
off
once it's up to speed, they
yeah.
just let it go and
exactly just because they needed a little something else to help start it. But
right.
all right, we're starting to unload the first one here.
I am going as slow as possible.
I'm not getting money, so presumably you're getting money.
I can't believe how long it takes to load these, and it's literally like 10 feet away. Like we could walk there faster than it takes. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
It's
Let me
so
just
close.
carry the tools one by one on my person.
Yeah, right.
And, we'll
and then
get there.
you could probably actually, if you could carry them one by one, it would probably be faster than loading up a car and then unloading it.
Legitimately, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, A-head.
Oh, I'm moving ahead for sure.
Can only take 30 pipes too, which means normally you can only bring 3 cars unless you got other materials. Yeah, you've stopped back here, but
Yeah, it's the rolling resistance of this corner. I was just coasting and it actually just stopped me.
oh, nice. So we've eaten down the beams a fair bit, and as well the pipes. So I've still got 4 more cars. So we're about halfway through the pipes. And we've actually gone through 2/3 of the beams that we brought. More than
Okay,
2/3.
interesting.
So, yeah. And then tools, doesn't look like much has happened over there. Go take a look while this unloads.
Do I need to back up then?
Tools. Oh my god, we still have 55 tools. Like
So I
it
should
must use
bring-
one tool for whatever. Yeah.
I should bring back the beams then?
One more car worth to unload, and then we're gonna have to bring back the beams. Yeah, because we're out of beams.
All right.
And when this car finishes unloading, we're not gonna be able to fit all the next one. So we have 2 cars we can't fit. So bring it back to the beams. We'll do those 2 more beam cars, and we should be able to unload the rest of this. We're only gonna get 1 more car of steel pipes.
What's
We
the
have-
the
we have-
numbers?
18 out of 30.
Oh, that sucks.
0 out of 30. And then 52 out of 100.
Well, I
So
guess
we really only
drive...
needed the 1 car.
Yeah, well, we'll drive all the way to the freight depot and just make money off these steel pipes.
Yeah, might as well. We'll sell the last car here, and as much of the last car here. I mean, would make the most sense to me because it'll unload partial cars.
Will it?
And it
As long as it
will
doesn't
it'll
stop
once
as
it doesn't.
long as long as it stops, we don't waste.
Yeah, it'll stop when it. I mean, that's how it's coded too. At least that was an update a while back.
Are you good?
You still got 2 cars to go before I can unload it. So
Oh,
keep
okay.
it going.
I literally can't see, so I'm just kind of...
Yeah, you're fine. And it stopped. All right, so we got to go sell these other 6 pipes to the freight depot. But,
All right, well, do you want
otherwise
to go to
you're all loaded.
the entrance of the oil depot there and make sure we're set to
Yep.
the left on that main
Get
switch?
us lined out on the Y.
Yeah.
Got it.
Then we'll just
This is
go on
like-
past to the freight depot and then unload, and then we'll back up into the hump yard, and then...
And we'll hump the consist.
Hump all
which
this
is gonna
stuff.
It's going to be cool. I mean, we got this huge cut of cars. We're going to need... Betsy's not going to be able to do the hump, I don't think.
No, the Glenbrook's already parked on the hump.
That's right. Glenbrook's ready to hump for us.
Glenbrook should be able to do
what-
it. It's only 2% up the
It's
hump.
2%, right? So the
Yeah, 2 or
Betsy's
3 or
good for
something, so it's not that
103,000 pounds by Betsy, and Glenbrook is good for 260.
Yeah, that'll be enough.
So all these empty cars, I mean, they're less than 10.
We have to hump the way car first, and then we
Right.
have to hump the log cars, and then we
Log
gotta hump
bunks.
the plank.
Stakes, and then the box cars last.
Dude, that was 280 oil? 290 oil?
Is that 290? Okay.
290?
Yeah, we don't need to get instantly demonetized.
I have
so.
$7,787.
Oh my god, this is the most money we've
We
ever
made
made running a
$5
train.
grand.
We had to wait an hour to load cars. But
We
I
made
mean,
$5 grand on that train.
dude, big
And
money.
with
big
Betsy's
train.
operating costs, man, that was a very profitable
Dude, this
mission.
this is a precision scheduled railroad right
Yeah,
now.
$5 grand.
The,
Wow.
the littlest engine with
Yeah.
the biggest train.
That's actually insane. We can afford anything now, which is good, because if there is a new update with new engines, we're definitely going to want one of the new coal-fired engines as our next
Yeah,
one. So.
dude, man, they showed off some cool stuff. There's some cool choo-choos in the list there, like a Mason Bogey. Which, God, I hope
Is
that
there
comes out, 'cause
a
that'd be super
fairly?
cool.
Is there a fairly? Is there?
I don't think there's a fairly. They teased the Class 125, which would be. I mean, that's what I'm really hoping for, because it's not so big that it's ridiculous compared to everything else in the game, but it's got some serious power. I mean, it's like 28,000 pounds of tractive effort, which
Okay.
would be
Well, that'll. Is it a road engine?
ridiculous. You use it as a road engine, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It would go fast. I mean, it was the first big power on the Rio Grande. Later became a K27. They had 15 of them. Like, that would be so cool to have.
Yeah,
and
we
then, of
need
course,
some
the
engines in
Uinta
this game that have
articulated
like 50,000
bit.
pounds of tractive effort. You know, just like nonsense.
Right. Yeah, lots of power. More power would be nice. But, Bogey would be cool. And then I think there's a couple other engines that they teased based on the looks that people have talked about. I can't remember what they are, but whatever it is, I'm excited to see what comes out. And if it's a Bogey, I'm going to be happy. If it's a Class 125, I'm going to be pretty happy. So
I love this roundhouse yard. I love this yard.
the stubs, the round
Yeah.
stubs. Yeah.
It's a cool looking yard. Got all the functional stuff we need. We'll need to put a coal tower there too, but we can,
Yeah.
unload wood when we need it. And It's just and then this hump yard is just wonderful. Like there's so much space for.
Yeah, we gotta line your switch, bro. We gotta
No,
line your
no,
switch,
we gotta
bro.
go drop off at the freight depot, bro.
Oh, right, bro.
Doesn't even pay attention to the schedule. He's got his whiskey bottle in the way again. He doesn't have the
Well,
schedule out. You gotta put the schedule in
hey,
front,
man.
whiskey bottle in behind. You know.
Well, what if my hands are shaking, man?
Eh.
Gotta have your priorities.
Sir, I dropped my schedule off the train a few miles back.
I lost my timetable. Trainmaster's gonna write me up. Yeah.
Is that legitimately a thing?
Yeah, you're supposed to carry a timetable on you, and you're supposed to like. It's supposed to be. I mean, it's your guidance for the railroad.
Do you go and pick up women at a bar? Do you go to like a bar at the next town and go, hey, check out
my timetable? You
my
know,
timetable
I've never
longer than anyone else's timetable. Bam.
I've never
14
really run on the
stops.
class one, so
My
anytime-
consist 52 cars. You know?
Anytime I bring up trains at a bar, the women usually run.
Oh,
So,
really? I'm surprised by
yeah.
that. I'm really surprised by that
Yeah.
reaction.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I get the two opposite ends of the spectrum. You bring up the trains, the women run, and then I play AC/DC covers with rock bands, and then all of the scary older ladies come and say hi.
Well,
And,
yeah,
you know, it's a vibe. It's a life.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
I don't know how I chose that and how I ended up there, but here we are. It's great.
Just be like, I could regulate your steam pressure, if you know what I mean. You know?
We really had to like run all the way over here just to unload the literal last car in the train that we could possibly unload.
Yeah.
That's
I don't.
this is a little smidge silly.
And then we gotta back up down the mainland. I don't know which problem is. It's,
You know
stuff
what?
happens.
The thing that we're doing right now, Colin, this is not real railroading, because real railroading, you and me would be like, man,
We're just gonna throw the pipes in the dirt over by the oil refinery and be like,
Well,
screw it,
no.
you guys have 106 pipes now, not 100.
well, I mean, there would have been that, but like, if you ended up coming back from the industry with like a load that was not accepted like this, we would not be like good stewards and go take it to where it should go to make the company money. We would park it in the yard with the rest of the stuff and be like, man, management's going to figure that out. Somebody else is going to have to switch that car out. We're not going to have to deal with that stuff, man.
Are you
It's
good
not
to
our
unload? Are
problem.
you unloading it or?
Yep, it took a second for the prompt to pop up, so bring it back. We are
Alright,
unloaded.
Yeah, I'm going full back. All right.
I'm protecting the shove from this very
Perfect.
yellow
$8,000.
platform.
$8,027. That's a good amount of money.
Dude, we could buy probably 2 engines, maybe.
I think the
Depending
pipes.
on-
Well, they're not if we buy any of the expensive ones. The more expensive ones are in the $6,000.
Do they get up to 6,000?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like if we look at like a class 70, it's $5,600. Cook
Okay,
280
so
is
it's getting-
$4,900. $4,300 for a Cook 260. So we could buy
My
like
brain-
a Cook and like a, oh there we go. We could buy a Cook and a Shay. You know, we could buy. You know, we could
a lot
buy
of my
we could
comments-
buy 3 Shays, Hyce. We could buy 3
A
Shays.
lot of my commenters were saying that we should buy the Shay next, just because they want to listen to me complain about it.
We should buy 3 Shays, Hyce. If we combine them with their
No.
powers combined, we have 9 cylinders, Hyce.
With
9
their powers
cylinders
combined,
of
we still
locomotive
don't
power.
have a class 70.
You're saying a modern diesel is what? A modern diesel V16s, right? So all we need is 8 Shays, and then we've got a V18 or V24. Oh, well, that's too many Shays. 6
No,
Shays.
but-
6
but-
Shays is a V18.
Con,
We're then more
Con,
powerful
Con.
than a modern
The
diesel with
Shay-
6 Shays.
The Shay that is in the game is a Class A 2-cylinder Shay. That's
Oh, okay,
even
so we
more
just need
jank
8 of
than
them
most
then.
Shays.
8 Shays. 8 Shays and we're a V16.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what I don't know
Dies.
why you're complaining so much, Hyce. This seemed perfect.
We'll
get 8 Shays.
Why?
And if we
Why?
put
You're
all of
lined
them
into the
together-
runaround. You're lined into the runaround. We're gonna Dutch drop these cars if it's. If,
Oh, you
if
want me? I can
help
just Dutch
it.
drop them, sure.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
I
unpinned.
think that's the beautiful. Okay, yeah, then stop.
I did ask a lot of people, and I am totally down to buy a Heisler because I think another helper would be nice, especially because we have the climax up at the.
That would be a good logical engine to get. But
Yeah,
I,
but I do want to
agree. We
wait
need
for
to,
the. I do want to
gotta
wait
get a
for the
coal engine.
update.
Yeah.
If we have $8,000, you know, waiting for the update when they come out with, if it's coming soon, then that makes a lot of sense to do that. And don't go
It
too
should-
close to that switch because you're going to derail that car, because it will
Right.
auto flick like.
Right
Right there.
Right.
Oh
Right.
my
Yep,
God.
it's fine. See, precision scheduled railroading. Kind of want to pull all the cut all the pins right now.
Yeah, cut all the sections. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like.
You want to get that
So-
one in between the boxcars? I'll get the one here between the stake flats and the.
Yeah, if you get the stake in the bunks, that'd be
Yeah.
good.
All right. There
And then
we go.
and then we just have to shove, and as long as we don't shove too far,
Yeah, then we
it
should be
won't,
fine.
Won't do anything too silly. I can see about to the end of the stake flats ish, although 2 of them just de-rendered.
Oh, perfect.
So
Well, I'll let you
I
know
can
when the
see
caboose has
most
cleared
of the
hump.
stakes. So let me know. Yeah, let me know when the caboose is up. Literally shoving blind.
And then when the caboose clears the hump, I'm gonna set it to like 20% of its own brake, and hopefully that'll be enough to.
That should be fine. It'll
Stop
stop
it
and hold
eventually.
itself. Yeah.
Yeah. Because then I can worry about the log cars, because they have to go into like the second lane, because we have stake flats and logs reversed because of the length.
Right. And then like you should be able to break the last car, the hump end of the cars.
All right, the caboose is on its way.
Okay. I'm
So
eased
then
off the
I've gotta
power
let
right now.
this. I gotta flick this.
I'm still coasting. Let me know
Stop.
if I
There
need
we
to
go.
stop.
Perfect. All right, so log cars are going into the hump here. Oh god, the caboose did not make it far on 20% brake, bro.
Really?
It like it did, but I'm gonna re-rail it. It barely like as soon as it got onto the flat section, it stopped.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it honestly needed
I'm,
like maybe 5% brake.
Okay. I'm all stopped up here. It looks like there should be enough space that we're probably not crested the hump right now.
Well, the log cars are going.
Oh, well that's fine.
It's good. I lined them already. They're okay.
Okay. Well then I'm gonna.
So
keep
now these
shoving
ones I
them.
should be able to set like 100% brake on the first car, like right there. Clear the switch. Good enough. All right, yeah, you can keep going. The stake flats are coming over here. This is pretty cool. It'd be cooler if we had automatic braking on the lanes, so that the
Right.
cars would automatically stop once they got to a certain point.
That's kind of how the hump really works. In
Right, you
real
just let
life,
the cars they like stop at certain points along the line. Because like if I could just like let this hump and go, oh, it's in that switch, and then not worry about it braking, it'll brake itself. Like that would be perfect. But now I have to
Right.
ride the first car, and then once the whole thing is clear of the switch, then these are moving. By the way, I don't know if you see them. They're gonna take off from your train soon here.
Okay. Yeah, I see that you're floating along, but
Yeah, there they go. That's so cool how that works.
all right, it's just me and the box cars left.
Yep.
And once the box cars are ready, I mean, once you're all lined in and tied down, and we can kick the box cars over, and that's that. And but this is the first real operation of the hump. Like everything else we've done has been for fun. This is actually like the mechanical operation that this thing.
Except it would be a
serves.
loaded consist, most likely.
Loaded, unloaded, whatever. I mean, it could be mixes of whatever. Really.
Right.
I mean, that's the whole thing. So.
Yeah, it would be honestly amazing if we had auto braking in the lanes. That would be
cool.
yeah. Just set up a little auto brake zone at each point.
We could have made it so that it was a true bowl and had a slight grade at the other
Oh, like
end.
a dip, so it'd go
Like
down
a
into
slight
the,
grade, so that you get into your lane, it dips down a little bit further, and then it goes
And then
flat for a long time,
right.
and then it goes up a little bit, just so that like it's a true bowl, and you're not going to gravity roll away from it either way.
We would need a lot of space for that though.
Yeah, it would
Probably even more than we have now. All right, so this one's gonna go into.
And this is already huge for
that
roads
lane. There we
online.
go.
So,
All right, you're good.
all right, they're kicked.
That's so cool. Love it. Oh,
right,
can't
I'm
get on
gonna-
top. Hello. I don't want to be in it. I don't want to be in, please. I want to get on top. No, I need to get up there. Hello.
You'll
Slow
figure it
down.
out. It'll be
Thank
fine.
you. All right, we're good. It's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. I feel
I'm a
like
fan.
it's a cool thing. Hump yards are neat.
They are. And like a really logistical, easy to use part of railroading that
Yeah, I mean, we literally just used one locomotive to sort all these cars with minimal effort. Which is just
otherwise we would have had
unbelievably
to
cool.
go into the track, set the cars out, tie them down,
Yeah.
break the air, pull back, go line to the next track, do 'em, and I mean literally less than half the moves, and we're there.
Oh, you think you can drag me, boy? Come here.
Oh, Betsy just spawned right then. Like you ran past me into nothing, which was hilarious.
You are so much faster than I am.
Yeah, I'm pausing to. I'm lining myself to the turntable. Like,
I was leaving Glenbrook
humping,
there to be the hump engine because we don't have a hump engine currently.
Well, we could do that, but
because Betsy's not powerful enough to be the hump engine. So
that's true. Well, I
you know, it would be powerful enough though.
What?
A Shay.
Oh, Shay's
Did you
basically
just see that?
Betsy, but
Did
slow.
you just see that?
Wait, I didn't see it, but you're on this track.
I did a 180 re-rail transfer. I was literally riding a Betsy on the one track. I hit re-rail. I looked over to the other track. It re-railed, but I stayed in the cabin when it re-railed and did like the full 180 re-rail transfer kickflip McTwist.
That is the most MLG thing.
Dude, that
I've
was
ever
crazy.
heard.
I literally just took the 8-ton engine in my one hand and jumped to the other track and boom, kept going.
That is the coolest we're ever going to be in this video game ever. This entire series, no one's ever going to be cooler than that.
Nothing is going to be as cool as that transfer.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
All right, well, it's good. Let's get some oil next time. Woo!
Yep, let's do it.
All right, see you all next time.
Laters.
Bye.